I stood under the narrow eave in front of my son's house, rain slanting against my shoulders. "Leave her out there. We're having dinner." My daughter-in-law, Vanessa's voice cut through from the kitchen window, cold as a knife. My own daughter-in-law had just sentenced me to stand in the rain while the whole family sat at the table in the house I had helped pay for. That night, I stood soaked for hours, and that same night I decided on something that would make them bow their heads the next day. I am Tammy, 69 years old. Everything began on a Friday morning when I woke up excited. After 3 months without seeing my grandson, Daniel, my son, finally texted, "Mom, come over for dinner at 6 p.m. The whole family misses you. I've been a widow for 5 years. My whole life I cleaned houses, sold homemade food, did whatever it took to raise Daniel. When he started his own family, I was still the one covering their expenses, helping pay the mortgage on this house, covering private school tuition for my grandson Ryan, helping with the car payments, making up the shortfall on bills when they came due. I didn't mind they are my blood, my reason to keep going. In the afternoon I dressed with care. I chose the wine-colored dress, put on my mother's pearls, and spritzed a bit of the perfume I'd bought on sale. I wanted to show up neat and proper before my family. I stopped by the toy store downtown to buy the transforming robot Ryan likes, then swung by the French bakery for a box of Petit Fours that Vanessa loves. The bags weighed down my arms, but my heart felt light. I took 2 buses, nearly an hour watching the streets go by, imagining Ryan's face when he opened his gift. It was a clear October day, a cool breeze blowing. I got off in the suburb where Daniel lives, a neighborhood that made me proud because I knew my sweat had helped make that life possible. I walked several blocks to the 2-story house with a patch of lawn out. Front the house with my name on the mortgage papers because I co-signed so they could qualify. I rang the bell right at 6 p.m. That's when the nightmare began. Vanessa opened the door with a forced smile. She was wearing the elegant black dress, the one I'd given her last month. "Hi, Miss Tammy," she said, but didn't invite me in. "Today's a bit inconvenient. We have guests." "Daniel invited me for dinner tonight," I said, confused, my arms aching from the gift bags. "Yes, let me talk to Daniel for a moment." She closed the door right in my face. I stood frozen under the eave. Laughter drifted from inside, glasses clinking, the smell of grilled meat, wine, the scent of a family gathering, and I was outside. 5 minutes. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I rang again. This time Daniel opened, the son who is my pride, the one I worked myself to the bone for. "Mom, you're still here?" he said with an awkward smile. "You told me to come for dinner, so here I am." He glanced back inside as if waiting for someone's nod. "Mom, Vanessa's friends showed up unexpectedly. There isn't enough food. Could you come tomorrow instead?" The words felt like a slap. I had spent the last dollars of the month on gifts and pastries. I had taken 2 buses, dressed up out of respect for the invitation. "But you invited me. I brought a gift for Ryan." "I know, but it's complicated, Mom." Vanessa appeared behind him, a glass of wine in hand. "Miss Tammy, it was really a misunderstanding. Let's do another day when we have time to host you properly." Properly? As if I were a burden to be hosted. From the dining room, Ryan's voice floated out. "Who is it, Dad?" "Nobody important, son. Keep eating," Daniel answered. "Nobody important," the child's grandmother. "Nobody important." "I'll go," I whispered, but my feet wouldn't move. Suddenly, it began to rain. First a mist, then quickly a downpour that flattened the wine-colored dress I had chosen so carefully. I pressed myself under the narrow eave right by the door, my family's own house. The voices and laughter were still crystal clear. "Who was that?" a woman's unfamiliar voice asked. "Daniel's mother," Vanessa replied, sounding weary. "She showed up unannounced. You know I get anxious whenever she comes. She always nitpicks the house, how we raise Ryan." My heart sank. Had I ever spoken out of turn? I only praised them, defended them, offered a thought or two when they asked. "And besides," Vanessa lowered her voice, "every time she has a little wine, she gets emotional. I can't stand it." Emotional? I hadn't even been invited inside, let alone offered wine. Rain pooled on the steps, my feet turning numb with cold. I rang the bell again. It took a long time before they opened. Daniel frowned. "Mom, you're still here?" You'll catch a cold. Let me come in just to dry my coat. I won't bother anyone. The guests are uncomfortable, Mom. It's nothing personal, but I'm your mother, the one who helped you get an education and who is still helping pay for this house, I said plainly. His face hardened. There you go again. That's why Vanessa doesn't want you coming too often. You turn everything into a thing. My only thing is wanting to have dinner with my family. Is that too much to ask? Shut the door. It's getting cold in here, Vanessa called from inside. And my son, shut the door. I stood in the rain, tears mixing with the water. The gift wrap dissolved to mush, the robot box was soaked, the pastry box turned into a soggy lump. I edged over to the dining room window. Through the lace curtains, the ones I'd given them last year, I saw the table laid with fine dishes, crystals sparkling under the chandelier, adults chatting animatedly. Ryan sat neatly in his chair, calmly eating. My grandson, the child I buy, clothes and toys for, whose tuition I pay, looked up and met my eyes through the fogged glass. He saw me drenched out there, then lowered his head and kept eating. I heard whispers. See? She's still standing there, Vanessa told her friend, pointing toward the window where I stood. Poor thing, let her in, the other woman said. No, let her stay out there if she wants. We're having dinner, and I won't let her ruin the mood. But she's the grandmother. She's very difficult, always has to be the center of everything. If we let her in, it'll be accusations and complaints. No, thank you, Daniel tried gently. Vanessa, maybe we could. Could what? Let her in so she ruins the evening? Your mother needs to learn she can't show up whenever she pleases. Ryan hesitated. Why don't we let Grandma in? The adults are talking. She'll leave any minute, honey, Vanessa said. But I didn't leave, not out of stubbornness, but because the hurt nailed my feet to the wet tile. An hour, then another hour. The cold seeped into my bones until my body stopped shaking and went numb. I heard heels on the wood floor. A small hope flared. Maybe Daniel is coming to open the door for me. But the one who tugged the curtain was Vanessa, a glass of red wine in hand. She looked at me, an old woman, drenched, clutching shredded bags, and smiled. Not a smile of sympathy or concern, a satisfied smile as if my suffering were a private show. She watched for a few seconds, then calmly returned to the dining table. Is she still out there? Her friend asked. Yeah, like a stray dog, Vanessa sneered. She'll get tired and go. You don't feel sorry? No, she's manipulative. This is just a performance to make us feel guilty. I stood still, each word heavier than the rain. Cold, wet, humiliated, but beneath it all, another spark flickered. I had been far too easy with my kindness. That night, in the wind and rain outside my son's door, I made a clear decision. In the morning, I would do what I should have done long ago, something that would make them relearn what respect means. It's time to set boundaries. She thinks that because she pays for a few things, she can show up whenever she wants. Vanessa deliberately raised her voice so I would hear. A few things? A few things. As if the $3,000 a month I transferred into their account were nothing. As if the house mortgage, Ryan's private school tuition, health insurance, credit cards, all the things I was carrying, were just a few things. If it were me, I'd let her in, one of Vanessa's friends murmured. Good thing you're not me. This is my house, and I decide who comes in, Vanessa snapped. Her house, the house with my name as co-signer on the loan documents. Every month, the payment still came out of my account. Daniel appeared in the dining room. Through the lace curtain, I saw my son's silhouette. Vanessa, it's 9 p.m. Mom has been outside for 3 hours. She'll get sick. Then let her go home. No one is forcing her to stand there. But at this hour, there aren't any buses. Call a cab or walk. Not my problem. Walking home would be more than 6 miles for me. And a cab would eat up almost all the little cash I had on me. Vanessa, please. She's my mother. Daniel softened his voice. Because she's your mother, she should respect us even more. She can't keep turning herself into a victim, so everyone has to cater to her. Right then, Ryan jumped up and ran to the window. Grandma, Grandma Tammy. He pressed his little hands to the glass. My heart clenched with joy. My grandson saw me and called to me. But Vanessa grabbed the boy's hand and pulled him back. Ryan, no. Grandma is making a scene to get attention. Don't mind her. but it's raining outside, she's all wet. Adults sometimes do odd things to get attention. She'll go home when she gets tired of her tantrum. A tantrum? Standing in the rain, waiting for a little respect from my family was a tantrum? Daniel, control your child, Vanessa snapped. And as always, my son obeyed. Come here, Ryan. Leave Grandma alone. Your mom is right. She'll go when she wants to. Ryan looked at me once more through the glass. His eyes held confusion, sadness, and something that hurt me most: fear. He was afraid to go against his parents, afraid to take Grandma's side. In that moment, I knew I had lost them. The rain kept pouring hard, but I no longer felt cold. The pain had drowned out every other sensation. I pulled my phone from the soaked purse. There were a few messages from Mrs. Linda, my neighbor. How is dinner? Is Ryan happy? I couldn't answer. Instead, I dialed a number I knew by heart but never thought I would use in a situation like this. The phone rang. Customer Service, National Bank. This is Patricia. How may I help you? Hello, I said, my voice shaking from cold and anger. I need to freeze some accounts. Certainly. Please give me your client number and identification. I entered the strings of numbers with numb fingers. All set, Mrs. Tammy Carter. I see you're the primary holder on several accounts and a co-signer on others. Which ones specifically would you like to freeze? I took a deep breath. Through the window I saw Vanessa bringing out dessert, Ryan laughing at something an adult said, and Daniel raising a glass of red wine that probably cost more than my groceries for a whole week. All of them, I answered, my voice suddenly firm. Freeze every account with my name, whether I'm the primary or a co-signer. I understand. May I ask the reason for the report? Suspected unauthorized use, I said without blinking. Noted. We have a checking account ending in 4,587, a savings account ending in 2841, and 2 joint credit cards ending in 7,890 and 5,432. Which accounts and cards would you like to freeze and lock? Each number was a piece of my life. The account where my pension comes in, the savings I built over 40 years, the joint accounts Daniel used for household costs, and Ryan's schooling. All of them, I repeated. I'm required to inform you. After the freeze, no one will be able to withdraw, transfer, or use the associated cards until you request to unfreeze. Are you sure? I saw Vanessa rise gracefully, likely heading to the kitchen to pour more wine. Absolutely sure. The process will take effect in about 2 hours. Do you need anything else? Please send me a confirmation email listing all block transactions. Of course. Case number 789456. Anything else I can assist you with? No. Thank you. I hung up, and a strange calm spread through me. For the first time in 3 hours, I smiled. I went back and rang the bell one more time, pressing hard as if it were an emergency. Vanessa opened the door, clearly annoyed. Mrs. Tammy, which part of no don't you understand? I just came to say goodbye, I said evenly. That calm made her pause. Perhaps she expected tears or pleading. Good. Finally you understand. I just want to say one thing, I smiled. Starting tomorrow, you two will have to live on your own money. What do you mean? Vanessa raised an eyebrow. Nothing dramatic. It's simply time for Daniel and you to take full responsibility for every expense. Vanessa scoffed. Oh, please, don't try to scare me. You can't live without Ryan, without Daniel. Your whole life revolves around this family. You're right. Until tonight. From now on, it won't be like that anymore. So, what are you going to do? Live alone with a bunch of cats? I'm going to be happy, I replied simply. Oh my God, so dramatic. Daniel appeared behind his Kari. Wife. Mom, you're leaving now? Do you need cash for a cab? The son who had just slammed the door in my face was now worried about how I'd get home. I don't need anything from you. Not ever again. Don't be like that, Mom. You know how Vanessa is when there are guests. Let's talk tomorrow. There's nothing to talk about, Daniel. What's wrong with you? It's like something happened. I laughed, a bitter but freeing laugh. Yes, something did. I realized I've been wasting my life. Mom, you're exaggerating. No. For the first time in years, I'm telling the plain truth. Vanessa grew impatient. Done with the soap opera? We still have guests. Of course. Go back to your perfect dinner. I turned and stepped down the stairs. How are you getting home? Daniel called after me. That's no longer your concern, I answered without looking back. I slogged through the rain to the avenue and hailed a cab. The driver, an older man, looked at me with concern. Ma'am, you okay? You're soaked. I'm perfectly fine, I said, and it was true. On the way home, my phone buzzed an email confirmation from the bank. All accounts had been frozen, all transactions blocked until authorized to reopen. Tomorrow promised to be very interesting. I got home close to 11 at night, drenched like a stray cat but feeling freer than ever. I took off the ruined wine-colored dress, showered hot, and slipped into my soft pajamas. For the first time in a long while, I slept deeply, without dreams of bills, without the anxiety of pleasing Vanessa. It was as if I had set down, right at their doorstep, a burden of 100 pounds. The next morning, sunlight poured through the window. At 8, I woke up like a new person. I brewed black coffee, toasted bread, spread jam, and sat on my little balcony to enjoy breakfast. My phone had been silent all night. I opened it, no messages. Strange, I thought. Daniel usually texts to ask if I got home. Then I remembered the night before and understood everything had changed. At 9:30, the doorbell rang. I peeked through the curtain, Mrs. Linda stood there with a bag of pastries. Hi, Tammy. How was dinner last night? You look much more at peace. I told her everything, every cut of humiliation, every cruel word from Vanessa, every minute in the pelting rain. Linda's eyes widened. I can't believe they treated you like that after everything you've done for them. I don't care anymore. For the first time in my life, I decided for me. You really froze everything? Everything. And I won't unfreeze until they apologize on their knees. Linda burst out laughing. I love this new Tammy. About time. We were still talking when my phone started blaring nonstop, Daniel calling. Pick up, Linda winked. This is the juicy part. What did you do, Mom? Daniel barked as soon as I answered. Good morning, son. Sleep well? Cut it out. The cards were declined. Vanessa went to the supermarket and every transaction failed. The bank says the accounts are frozen. Oh, right. Why did you do that? Because it's my money, and I'm deciding not to share it with people who don't respect me anymore. Mom, you're going too far. Vanessa was just stressed because we had guests. You know how she is. I know very well, which is why I made this decision. But you can't do that. We still have so many expenses. Ryan's tuition is deducted today. That's no longer my concern. How is it not? He's your grandson. The grandson who last night saw his grandma standing in the rain and didn't dare move to help. Did you hear that clearly? I heard Vanessa snapping in the background. Daniel lowered his voice. Vanessa says if you don't unfreeze them, she'll have to get a job. Wonderful news. About, Mom, please come over so we can talk. I won't set foot in that house until Vanessa apologizes for treating me like a stray dog. You're exaggerating, Daniel argued. 3 hours in the rain is exaggerating? I asked. Daniel fell silent. Listen, Mom, he said softly. Vanessa says she misspoke last night. Misspoke? I repeated loudly enough for Linda, sitting next to me, to hear. Linda covered her mouth to keep from laughing. She means, you know, Vanessa, when she gets stressed, My eyes and ears still work fine, son. Now listen carefully. For 5 years, I've paid the mortgage, the credit cards, Ryan's tuition, groceries, gas, health insurance, vacations, everything. And the only payment I've received back is humiliation. That's not true, Mom. When was the last time Vanessa thanked me? When was the last time you invited me to dinner without me having to ask first? When was the last time my opinions were treated with respect? Daniel was silent. Exactly. Never. But Mom, we're family. Family respects each other. And last night, you lost that. I hung up and put my phone on silent. Linda clapped softly. Gave me goosebumps. I'm proud of you. Thank you. But this is just the beginning. About 30 minutes later, my doorbell rang. I looked through the curtain. Daniel and Vanessa stood outside, faces tense. They're here, I said. Do you want me to leave? Linda asked. No, stay. I need a witness. I opened the door before they could knock. Vanessa's eyes were red and puffy. Daniel looked panicked. "Mom, please, can we talk?" Daniel pleaded. "Say it right here at the door. Linda will be here as a witness." "A witness for what?" Vanessa rasped. "For what you're about to say." Vanessa stepped half a pace forward. "Tammy, I'm sorry about last night. I was stressed because we had guests and I didn't think through the consequences of my words." "Which words specifically?" "Well, when I told you to wait on the porch." "Is that all?" I looked straight at her. Vanessa glanced at Daniel for help. "I'm also sorry for making you wait a long time." "How long?" "I'm not sure. An hour?" 3 hours, Vanessa. 3 hours in the rain." "Yes, 3 hours. I'm very sorry." "What else?" "What else?" "Last night you said a lot, that I manipulate, that I'm putting on a show, that I should stand outside like an abandoned dog." Vanessa's face went pale. "I didn't say that." "You did. You also said I'm a difficult person, always wanting to be the center, that I need to be given limits." Daniel turned, wide-eyed at his wife. "It doesn't matter what I said," Vanessa began. "It does matter, because it shows what you really think of me." "Tammy, please unfreeze the accounts and let's forget this." Vanessa lowered her voice. "No, I won't unfreeze anything until you apologize properly on your knees." "On my knees?" Vanessa burst out, outraged. "Humiliating like me standing in the rain for 3 hours in front of the very door of the house I helped pay for, then you'll understand." "Mom, be reasonable," Daniel intervened. "Vanessa already apologized. That's an apology of convenience, not genuine remorse." "Then, what do you want me to do?" Vanessa asked in despair. "Get on your knees, right here in front of Linda, and apologize for each cruel thing you said last night." "Too much." Vanessa shook her head. "Then there's no deal." I turned back toward the house. "Wait!" Vanessa cried. I saw in her eyes a struggle between needing money and saving face. "Fine," she whispered. Daniel was stunned. "You don't have to." "I have to." Vanessa cut him off, tears welling. "There's no other choice." Slowly, Vanessa knelt on the tile floor. I had laid myself when I bought this apartment with my savings. "Tammy," she trembled, "I'm sorry for leaving you in the rain." "Continue," I said evenly. "I'm sorry for calling you manipulative." "What else?" Vanessa drew a deep breath, tears spilling. "I'm sorry for saying you were putting on a show, for comparing you to an abandoned dog, for calling you a difficult person." "And?" "For saying we needed to set limits with you, for not acknowledging what you've done for our family, for disrespecting you in the very house you helped pay for." "Promise this will not happen again." "I promise," Vanessa whispered. "Can't hear you." "I promise." She burst into tears. "Stand up." Vanessa slowly got to her feet, wiping her eyes. Dust clung to her knees. "Now comes part 2, I said. "Part 2? Daniel panicked. "Yes. New rules. Sit down on the garden chairs. This will take a while." They sat obediently like scolded schoolchildren. Linda leaned back, smiling with satisfaction. "Rule 1. I'm no longer your personal bank. From now on, every expense you take responsibility." "But Mom..." "Hush, Daniel." "Rule 2. I will transfer money only for Ryan's basic needs, tuition, meals, clothes, during a transition period. Piano, swimming, English classes, all extracurriculars stopped until you can pay for them yourselves." Vanessa blanched. "Rule 3. No expensive restaurants, no lavish trips, no designer goods on my dime." "We can't live like that," Vanessa blurted out. "Millions of families manage. You're just used to living beyond your means on my money." "That ends now," Daniel stammered. "If Vanessa gets a job, then..." "Rule 4. I continued relentlessly. "Vanessa has 30 days to find work. If she doesn't, I cut all support." "30 days?" Vanessa cried. "More generous than the time you gave me last night to find shelter from the rain." Linda nodded in approval. "Rule 5. I will only come over with a specific invitation. No more come any time, and then leaving me at the door." "Okay, Mom," Daniel muttered. "Rule 6. When you invite me, treat me with respect. Don't turn me into an unwelcome guest in the house I helped pay for." "Yes, Mom." Rule 7. Vanessa will take a class on manners and respecting older adults. That's humiliating, Vanessa shot back. Exactly like the humiliation I endured last night. Rule 8. Open a savings account and put 10% of every income into it. Learn financial discipline. What if there's no income yet? Vanessa pressed. Then get some. Quickly. Rule 9. No more additional credit cards. What you have is enough. Rule 10, most important. I smiled. One more insult or demeaning comment toward me and everything ends for good. No second chances. Silence thickened. Vanessa cried. Daniel looked defeated, and Linda smiled with pride. Do you agree to all of it? I agree, Daniel answered softly. Vanessa? I agree, she sobbed. Good. Linda is the witness. Break the rules and Linda will confirm it. Tammy, Vanessa looked at me pleading, when will you unfreeze the accounts? When I see real results, Vanessa has a job, behavior changes, genuine respect. Until then, you'll manage with whatever cash you have. Daniel rifled through his wallet. I have $40. I have 15, Vanessa muttered. Then spend carefully until things change. Vanessa stood, clearly shaking. What if I don't find a job in 30 days? Then move somewhere cheaper, pull Ryan out of private school, and live like ordinary people. You can't do that to us. I can. It's my money, I decide. Daniel stepped closer, begging. Mom, please be flexible. Vanessa will change. You saw she apologized. An apology under pressure is not the same as real remorse. Then, how do we truly earn your forgiveness? Vanessa asked, desperate. In the coming months, prove that you value what I've done, and that you respect me not for my money, but because I am an elder and the mother in this family. We will, Daniel promised. I hope so, because this is your last chance. That afternoon, they left empty-handed, heads down. Through the window, I saw them whisper arguing, gestures frantic. Tammy, Linda turned to me, you're my hero. I wish women our age would all dare to set boundaries like that. The days that followed opened my eyes. For the first time in years, my phone didn't ring nonstop for money, complaints about expenses, or Vanessa asking for just a little for her whims. The silence was beautiful. Every afternoon, Linda stopped by for coffee. Word of that night spread through the building. The neighbor ladies came to congratulate me for setting limits. Tammy, everyone knew your daughter-in-law was bleeding you dry, said Mrs. Rosa, on the 4th floor. But no one thought you'd actually turn off the tap. On the 5th day, Vanessa showed up at my door, alone. Her face gaunt, dark circles under her eyes, hair uncombed, nothing like the proud, polished woman from the week before. Tammy, can we talk? Right on the threshold. Could we have a little privacy? After what you said about me in front of your guests, I don't think there's anything private left between us. She bit her lip, flustered. I've been job hunting every day. It's harder than I thought. I'm 35, 8 years out of the workforce, no recent experience. Welcome to the real world. Please, Tammy, Daniel is desperate. Yesterday he had to borrow from coworkers to buy food for Ryan. I looked straight at Vanessa. And what have you done to make up for what you put me through? I'm submitting applications, going to interviews. I'm not asking about job hunting. I'm asking what you've done to compensate for the humiliation you made me endure. Vanessa fell silent. Exactly. Nothing. Then, what do you want me to do? I want you to truly understand what you did. I want you to taste, even a little, the humiliation I felt that night. I already apologized. Kneeling because you had no other option is not genuine repentance. Vanessa burst into tears. What else do you want from me? I want you to go to every person who was in your house that night and tell the truth, that you left me standing in the rain for 3 hours, that you treated me like an animal, and that it all happened because you failed to respect someone who deserved it. That would be humiliating. Exactly. Now you know how humiliated I felt. I can't. They're my friends. I'll look like what? Like a woman who was cruel to her mother-in-law, because that's exactly what you were. I noticed her shirt was the cheap kind the first time I'd seen Vanessa not wearing designer clothes. If I do that, will you unfreeze the accounts? It's a first step, not enough. What else? Get a job seriously. not just submitting applications online at home. Go out every day, knock on doors, beg if you have to. I'm already doing that. Have you tried cleaning houses, asked restaurants if they need servers, or checked if a supermarket is hiring? Vanessa's face collapsed. Those kinds of jobs are what? Humiliating? Then what were my 30 years of cleaning houses so my son could study? What was working myself to the bone to support a family that didn't appreciate me? I didn't know. You did. You just didn't care. Vanessa stood on the threshold, watching her privileged world crumble. Tammy, I promise I'll make change. Promises blow away in the wind. Actions count. Give me a chance. I'm giving you a chance. You have 25 days to get any lawful job. I want proof pay stubs, a contract, something concrete. If I can't get one, then Daniel will have to decide whether he wants to stay with a wife who won't contribute to the household. Vanessa's eyes went wild. You told him that? I don't need to. He'll figure it out himself. Please, I have a child. Ryan is my grandson before he's your child, and he'll be fine because I will never abandon him. As for you, you have to earn your place in this family. That day, Vanessa left even paler than when she arrived. 2 days later, Daniel came by. He looked worn out, but there was something I hadn't seen in a long time. Humility. Mom, can I come in? Of course. He sat in my small living room, glancing around as if seeing it for the first time. Your place is so cozy. I don't know how I never noticed before. Because you were busy enjoying the house I helped pay for. You're right. You're right about everything. I was surprised the first time Daniel admitted anything related to Vanessa. You really think so? Being short on money these days opened my eyes. Vanessa yelled, called me useless for not providing for the family. She said terrible things. Like what? That I'm a failure. That without your money, we wouldn't be living like we are now. That she married me because you're rich. I felt as if someone had stabbed me straight in the chest. She really said that? More than that. She said her friends laugh at us for depending on an old woman. Her words, not mine. I sprang up, shaking with anger. Son, that woman doesn't love you, she's using you. I know now, Mom. So what are you going to do? I'm scared. I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid Ryan won't have both parents. Son, it's better to grow up in a home with one person who loves you truly than in a place with two people who hate each other. Daniel cried, my 40-year-old boy, cried like a child. Mom, I made a terrible mistake marrying Vanessa. When did you realize it? These days, when there was no more money, when she had to face reality, her true face showed selfish, cruel, materialistic, and yet I chose to believe her instead of defending you. I regret it every day. Do you truly regret it, or are you just afraid because easy money is gone? Daniel looked straight into my eyes. I regret losing the most important woman in my life for someone who doesn't even respect me. For the first time in days, I saw my son come back to me. You never lost me. I took his hands. But you have to make a hard decision. What decision? Whether you'll stay in a marriage where there is no love and no respect. Mom, I'm scared. Vanessa could take Ryan away. She could sue for support. Daniel, stop being afraid and start being brave. I was afraid too when your father died and I was alone with you. I worked 3 jobs so you could go to college. I wasn't born strong. I became strong because I had no choice, and neither do you. My phone rang, an unknown number. Yes, this is she. Hello, Mrs. Tammy Carter. I'm Monica Green, a teacher at Ryan's school. This month's tuition was declined. We hope you can arrange payment. I looked at Daniel. He heard every word. How much is it, miss? Monica? $12,000 for this semester, plus $2,000 in additional fees. Understood. Please give me until Friday. Certainly, but after that we'll have to suspend Ryan until it's settled. I hung up and turned to Daniel. Do you have the money? You know I don't, Mom. Then Vanessa has 3 days to find a job. If not, Ryan leaves private school. You can't do that. He's your grandson. Exactly, because he's my grandson. I won't keep paying so his parents can live like royalty without working. If Ryan leaves private school, you enroll him in public school like I did, and like you did in your early years. Vanessa will never accept that. Then Vanessa can figure out how to pay. Daniel jumped to his feet. Mom, help me one more time. I swear after no more swearing, only action. Then what do I have to do? Take the wheel of your life again. Tell Vanessa, no job in 3 days, divorce. That's too extreme. Extreme is leaving your mother standing in the rain for 3 hours. He was quiet for a long time. If I divorce, will you help me? I'll help raise Ryan, find a small apartment, start over but with conditions. 1. No luxury, live simply and responsibly. 2. Appreciate my efforts, don't take them for granted. 3. If you remarry someday, your new wife must respect my place in this family. I accept all of it. Then go talk to Vanessa. Tell her she has 72 hours to have a job or it's over. If she refuses, you'll have your answer about who she really is. That afternoon, Daniel left, both determined and anxious. I knew the next few dozen hours would be decisive. I didn't have to wait long. At 11 p.m., Vanessa pounded on my door, furious. Open up, Tammy. I opened it. Her hair was a mess, her eyes bloodshot. You brainwashed Daniel, didn't you? What are you talking about? He said if I don't have a job in 3 days, he's divorcing me. Oh, that's what he said. Because of you. No, because of you, because you're a selfish freeloader. I'm not freeloading. Then when was the last time you worked? When was the last time you contributed to the household? I take care of the house, I take care of Ryan. Ryan is at school 8 hours a day, and you also have a housekeeper whom I help pay for. Vanessa was speechless. Tammy, please, don't destroy my marriage. I'm not destroying anything your attitude is. What do you want from me? Tomorrow go out and find real work, and before Friday you must have a source of income. Impossible. Not impossible, just hard. If it's hard, do it anyway. If I get a job, will you unfreeze the accounts? I'll start helping gradually, but never like before. What does that mean? It means you two will live mainly on what you earn yourselves. I'll help only with Ryan's basics. That's not fair. What's not fair is a 69-year-old woman supporting 2 able-bodied adults. But we need you. You don't need me, you need my money. Big difference. Please, listen closely. Vanessa, if tomorrow morning you don't go out to seriously look for work, if by Friday there's still no income, I will unfreeze only to help Daniel divorce you. Vanessa's eyes widened in fear. You'd really do that? Without hesitation. Because my son deserves a wife who knows how to love, not someone who only loves a cushy life thanks to her mother-in-law's money. That's not true. Then prove it. Earn your own money, support your family, and love Daniel without depending on my money. That night Vanessa left exhausted, cornered by an ultimatum. Early the next morning, I saw her leave the house, simply dressed, carrying a stack of documents. It had been 8 years since I'd seen Vanessa go job hunting. It was a start. Friday came faster than I expected. I was eating breakfast when the bell rang at 7 a.m. Daniel arrived with Ryan carrying a small suitcase. Mom, can we come in? Of course, what's going on? Vanessa got a job server at a restaurant. She starts her first shift today. I was both surprised and quietly pleased. I hadn't expected her to actually do it. So what's with the suitcase? Last night we had a frank talk. I said we need a fresh start, couples therapy, and radical changes. What did she say? Daniel sighed. She said she'd rather divorce than live like a middle-class woman. She didn't marry me to be a server and count every penny. Vanessa's exact words. If your mother isn't going to keep funding my lifestyle, then there's no point in us staying together. I was speechless. Vanessa's true face had shown without disguise. How did you respond? I asked. I said she was right. If we're together only for money, then we shouldn't continue. Ryan, who had been silent, came closer. Grandma, does Mom not love me anymore? I bent to be at his eye level. She still loves you, but sometimes adults can't live together because they think too differently. Would you like to stay with Grandma and Dad? Ryan's eyes lit up. Yes, it always smells like good food here, and you hug me for a long time. My heart melted. I looked at Daniel. Are you sure? Sure. These last few days I realized I've been living a lie. Vanessa never loved me. She only loved the comfort she had because of you. You don't regret it? No. I feel free. My phone rang, Vanessa calling. Should we answer? Daniel asked. Of course. Tammy. I'm here, Vanessa. Daniel says you got a job. Congratulations. Don't congratulate me. Standing 8 hours, rude customers, lousy tips, awful. Welcome to the real world. We can work this out. I'll keep working, and you go back to supporting us like before. No, Daniel has decided. He can't support Ryan by himself. He's not by himself, he has me. What do you mean? Daniel and Ryan will move into my place for a while, until he stabilizes financially. A scream burst through. The line, illegal. You can't take my son. I'm not taking anything. You chose to put money above family. I'll sue. Go ahead. Where will you get the money for a lawyer? Vanessa hung up. Daniel worried. Do you think she can do anything legally? Hardly. A person who abandons her family because she doesn't want to work will have a hard time getting custody. The months that followed were some of the best of my life. Daniel picked up a part-time job. Ryan transferred to public school, and against all expectations was much happier. One afternoon, while we were doing homework together, he asked, "Grandma, why was Mom always angry before?" Because she didn't know how to be happy with simple things. I'm happy here. No yelling, no fights, and there's always good food. Daniel changed, completely warm, grateful, truly present. Every night after Ryan fell asleep, my son and I talked like we used to. "Mom," he said one evening, "forgive me for all those years of taking you for granted, not defending you, letting Vanessa insult you. I've already forgiven you." In the end, everything brought us back together. Vanessa tried many times to pull Daniel back. She promised she had changed, understood the value of work, could be happy with less money, but Daniel no longer fell for it. "Mom taught me the most important thing," he told Vanessa the last time she came to beg. "Real love isn't a bargain, isn't conditional, and can't be bought." A year later, I was sitting on the balcony watching Ryan play soccer in the little yard when the phone rang. "Is this Miss Tammy? I'm Monica Green, Ryan's teacher. I want to compliment him. He's one of the most polite and happy kids in class. Would you be willing to share with a few grandmothers about setting boundaries? Many are going through what you did." I laughed. "My story is that well known?" "Yes, they admire you very much. You give them courage." I agreed. Every Saturday, a group of grandmothers comes to my home to share their life stories. Many followed suit, and their lives clearly improved. Tammy, Mrs. Karen said last week, "You taught us that restoring dignity is never too late." A few days later, Linda brought a misdelivered letter. It was from Vanessa. "Tammy, it's been 2 years. I finally understand what you were trying to teach me. Working has made me value what I once took for granted. I'm dating a sincere man who loves me for who I am, not for what I have. I'm not asking for forgiveness because I don't deserve it, but I want to say thank you. You forced me to grow up." I didn't reply. Some wounds heal best in silence. This morning, while I was frying eggs, Ryan hugged my waist. "Grandma, you're the strongest woman." "Why do you say that?" "Because Dad said when I was little, Mom treated you badly, but you didn't stay silent. You said no and saved the whole family." I smiled. Yes. On that rainy night, I didn't just save myself, I saved my son from a toxic marriage, saved my grandson from a false environment, and kept my own dignity. At 69, I learned the biggest lesson. Loving yourself isn't selfish, it's survival, and it's never too late to say, enough. 5 years have passed since the life-changing rainy night. Now, as I write these lines on my small balcony, Ryan, 13 years old, is playing soccer with his public school friends. He's kind, hardworking, and respectful. My story has become a neighborhood tale. Older women stop me on the street to say my example helped them set boundaries. Some stopped being the family bank. Some divorced husbands who treated them like maids. Many reclaimed their self-respect after years of manipulation. Yesterday, Mrs. Patricia from the building across the street said, "My daughter spent 10 years asking for money for her whims while insulting me. After hearing your story, I told her it was over. She got a job as a nurse and comes over every Sunday for dinner. Our relationship is better than ever. I started a group called Strong Grandmothers to share experiences and support each other. Daniel has blossomed as a father and a man. He got a promotion, runs his own department, and no longer needs 2 jobs. He lives in a small but decent apartment 3 blocks from my place. On Wednesdays and Sundays, the two of us have dinner and laugh together. I never imagined the most painful decision would be the most freeing, Daniel said. Divorce? I asked. No. Choosing you over Vanessa. For the first time in my adult life, I chose right. Ryan is doing very well in public school, with grades even higher than before at the private school. He's more socially aware. The other day he asked to invite a classmate with a tough situation over for dinner. Grandma, remember the big house we used to live in? Mom was always cranky. I remember. I like this life 1,000 times more. There's peace here. I've heard Vanessa remarried an accountant she met at the restaurant. They're expecting a baby. A few months ago I ran into her at the supermarket. Hi, Tammy. Hi, Vanessa. How's Ryan? Healthy and very happy. I'm glad. She hesitated, then said, You were right about everything. I didn't truly love Daniel. I depended on him. I needed to learn to value things. I looked at her without resentment. It's good that you understand. Could you say hello to Ryan for me? I will. She left with tears in her eyes, but with a dignity I hadn't seen in her before. My finances changed completely. I'm no longer the family safe. My savings have increased significantly. I fixed up my home, went to the Florida beaches for the first time, and bought a cute used car. You look 10 years younger, Linda teased. It's true, I feel young, full of energy, and grounded. At 74, I'm living the brightest stretch of my life. Last month, a county social worker came to see me. Your story is a model. We'd like to invite you to help coordinate a program supporting older adults facing financial abuse within their families. I agreed immediately. Now I work 20 hours a week, helping other grandmothers reclaim their dignity, the most satisfying job of my life. Last week, an 80-year-old woman came to me. Her son had thrown her out to sell the house, promised to care for her but made her sleep in a storage room and watch 5 grandchildren for free. Mrs. Tammy, at my age, can I still start over? Yes, I started over at 69. You still have time for everything. I helped her file legal papers, recover her property, and find a decent place to live. Now she also gives talks about seniors' rights. Cases like this happen constantly, not somewhere far away, but right here in America, there are still many grandmothers being exploited. My story has given them hope that setting boundaries and loving yourself is the beginning of taking your life back. Ryan, who had been silent, came closer. Grandma, does Mom not love me anymore? I knelt, so I was at his eye level. She still loves you, but sometimes adults can't live together because they think too differently. Would you like to stay with Grandma and Dad? Ryan's eyes lit up. Yes. It always smells like good food here, and you hug me for a long time. My heart melted. I looked at Daniel. Are you sure? Sure. These past few days I've realized I've been living a lie. Vanessa never loved me. She only loved the comfort she had thanks to you. You don't regret it? No. I feel free. My phone rang, Vanessa calling. Should we answer? Daniel asked. Of course. Tammy. I'm here, Vanessa. Daniel says you started working. Congratulations. Don't congratulate me. Standing 8 hours, rude customers, little tips awful. Welcome to the real world. We can work this out. I'll keep working, and you go back to supporting us like before. No. Daniel has decided. He can't support Ryan by himself. He's not by himself, he has me. What do you mean? Daniel and Ryan will move into my place for a while until things are stable financially. A scream burst through the line. Illegal. You can't take my son. I'm not taking anything. You chose to put money over family. I'll sue. Go ahead. Where will you get the money to hire a lawyer? Vanessa hung up. Daniel worried. Do you think she can do anything? Hardly. Someone who abandons her family because she doesn't want to work will have a hard time getting custody. The months that followed were the most beautiful of my life. Daniel picked up a part-time job, Ryan transferred to public school, and against expectations was much happier. One afternoon, while the two of us were doing homework, he asked, Grandma, why was Mom often angry before? Because she didn't know how to be happy with simple things. I'm happy here. No yelling, no fighting, and there's always good food. Daniel changed completely, warm, grateful, truly present. Every night after Ryan fell asleep, the two of us talked like we used to. "Mom," he said one evening, "forgive me for all those years of taking you for granted, not defending you, letting Vanessa insult you. I've already forgiven you." In the end, everything brought us back together. Vanessa tried many times to pull Daniel back. She promised she had changed, understood the value of work, could be happy with less money, but Daniel no longer fell for the trap. "Mom taught me the most important thing," he told Vanessa one last time. "Real love doesn't bargain, isn't conditional, and can't be bought." A year later, I was sitting on the balcony watching Ryan play soccer in the small yard when the phone rang. "Is this Miss Tammy?" "I'm Monica Green, Ryan's teacher. I want to praise him. He's one of the most polite and happy kids in class. Would you like to share with a few other grandmothers about setting boundaries? Many are going through what you did." I laughed. "Is my story really that well known?" "Yes, they admire you very much. You give them courage." I agreed. Every Saturday, a group of grandmothers comes to my home to share their life stories. Many followed suit, and their lives clearly improved. "Tammy, Mrs. Karen said last week, you taught us that it's never too late to restore dignity." A few days later, Linda brought a misdelivered letter. It was from Vanessa. "Tammy, it's been 2 years. I finally understand what you wanted to teach me. Working has made me appreciate what I used to take for granted. I'm seeing a sincere man who loves me for who I am, not for what I have. I'm not asking for forgiveness because I don't deserve it, but I want to say thank you. You forced me to grow up." I didn't reply. Some wounds heal best in silence. This morning, while I was frying eggs, Ryan hugged my waist. "Grandma, you're the strongest woman. Why do you say that?" "Because Dad said back then, Mom treated you badly, but you didn't stay silent. You said no, and saved the whole family." I smiled. "That's right. On that rainy night years ago, I didn't just save myself, I saved my son from a toxic marriage, saved my grandson from a false environment, and kept my own dignity. At 69, I learned the biggest lesson. Loving yourself isn't selfish, it's survival, and it's never too late to say, enough." 5 years have passed since the life-changing rainy night. Now, as I write these lines on my small balcony, Ryan, 13 years old, is playing soccer with his public school classmates. The boy is kind, hardworking, and polite. My story has become a neighborhood tale. Older women meet me on the street to say my example helped them set boundaries. Some stopped being the family bank. Some divorced husbands who treated them like maids. Many reclaimed their self-respect after years of manipulation. Yesterday, Mrs. Patricia from the building across the street said, "My daughter spent 10 years asking for money for her whims while insulting me. After hearing your story, I said, it's over. She got a job as a nurse and comes every Sunday for dinner. Our relationship is better than ever." I started a group called Strong Grandmothers to share experiences and support each other. Daniel has blossomed as a father and a man. He got a promotion, has his own department, and no longer needs 2 jobs. He lives in a small but decent apartment 3 blocks from my home. On Wednesdays and Sundays, the two of us have dinner, laughing and talking. "I never imagined the most painful decision would be the most liberating," Daniel said. "Divorce?" I asked. "No. Choosing you over Vanessa. For the first time in my life, I chose right." Ryan is doing very well in public school, with grades even higher than when he was at the private school. He's more socially aware. The other day, he asked to invite a classmate in a tough situation over for dinner. "Grandma, do you remember the big house from before?" Mom was always irritable. "I remember. I prefer this life 1,000 times more. There's peace here. I heard Vanessa has remarried an accountant she met at the restaurant. They're expecting a baby. A few months ago, I ran into her at the supermarket. 'Hi, Tammy.' 'Hi, Vanessa. Is Ryan doing well?' 'Is Ryan doing well?' 'Healthy and very happy.' 'I'm glad.' She hesitated, then said, 'You were right about everything. I didn't truly love Daniel. I depended on him. I needed to learn appreciation.' I looked at her without resentment. 'It's good that you understand. Could you say hello to Ryan for me?' 'I will.' She left with tears in her eyes, but with a dignity I hadn't seen in her before. My finances changed completely. I'm no longer the family safe. My savings have increased significantly. I fixed up my home, went to the Florida beach for the first time, and bought a cute used car. You look 10 years younger, Linda teased. It's true, I feel young, full of energy, grounded. At 74, I'm living the brightest stretch of my life. Last month, a county social worker came to see me. Your story is a model. We'd like to invite you to help coordinate a program supporting older adults who suffer financial abuse within the family. I agreed immediately. Now I work 20 hours a week, helping other grandmothers reclaim their dignity, the most satisfying job of my life. Last week, an 80-year-old woman came to me. Her son kicked her out of the house to sell it, promised to care for her but made her sleep in a storage room and watch 5 grandchildren for free. Mrs. Tammy, at my age, can I still start over? Of course. I started over at 69. You still have time for everything. I helped her file legal papers, recover her property, and find a decent place to live. Now, she also gives talks about seniors' rights. Cases like this happen often, not somewhere far away, but right here in America, there are still many grandmothers being exploited. My story has given them hope that setting boundaries and loving yourself is the beginning of taking back your life. Last Sunday, Ryan asked me a question that made my heart stop for a moment. Grandma, when I grow up, will I treat my wife well? Why are you asking that? Because I remember before, Dad let Mom treat you badly. I don't want to be like that. The fact that you care already makes you different, Ryan. I patted his head. Promise Grandma this. If one day you treat someone badly, let Grandma scold you, okay? If so, please scold me really strictly. I promise. That little conversation filled me with hope. Ryan is growing up with a good foundation, learning self-respect from his grandmother, and learning to cherish women from a father who managed to make things right. This morning, holding a hot cup of coffee on the balcony, I thought about the road I've traveled. That rainy night was the breaking point, but it was also the day I was reborn. I learned that it's never too late to say no, that real love always includes respect, that kindness does not mean naivety, that a family which has hurt you does not deserve your sacrifice. Most importantly, a woman can start her life over at any age. My phone now rings nonstop women who want to tell their stories, ask for advice, or simply say thank you because I gave them courage. I've become a voice for thousands of grandmothers who stayed silent for far too long. A few days ago, a female reporter came to interview me for an article on family violence against older adults. She asked, Mrs. Tammy, what would you say to someone going through what you went through? I would say, your dignity is worth more than any comfort. It's better to be alone and at peace than to be with someone and be humiliated. And it's never too late to start again. Do you regret anything? I only regret that it took me too long to respond. The article came out last week, and my phone lit up with messages again. Last night, while I was doing math homework with Ryan, he looked up and said, Grandma, our teacher told us to write about our hero. Who are you going to write about? You. Because you're the only person I know who turned sadness into strength. Today, 5 years after that life-changing rainy night, I can say for sure, I was brave. I chose dignity over comfort, and I saved not only my own life but also my son and my grandson. Every time I see an older woman hold her head high, set boundaries, and respect herself, I feel my story was worth it. Because sometimes it only takes one woman saying, enough, for the world around her to change. When the door closed on that rainy night, Tammy didn't choose resentment, she chose dignity. She understood that love without respect is only a binding rope, and sometimes the way to protect a family is not to endure, but to set boundaries so everyone relearns how to love the right way. From a mother who was overlooked, Tammy stood up and became a calm anchor for her son and grandson, and also a gentle reminder to us all. Loving yourself isn't selfish. It's the foundation of every other kind of love. What about you? If you were in Tammy's place, how would you set boundaries with your children, with your partner, with yourself? Have you ever said enough to protect your peace? Tell me your story in the comments. Maybe your experience will help someone out there be braver. And if these moments resonated with you, come along with the channel so you won't miss the next stories where we listen together, learn to love better together, and grow together.